And musician, and has long since reduced Magnus Magnusson to runner-up in the all-time list of favourite Icelanders. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Björk. Hi. Let's see you again.
Hi.
Okay, how are you?
Fine. Thank you.
We'll sit down. Okay. Right. And you were musical from the word go.
Yeah.
But you're precociously talented musically, but you've got a lot of influences that you've absorbed into your singing and playing. I mean, Julie Andrews and Stockhausen and Jimi Hendrix and punk rock when you came here and everything.
Bit of Boney M.
Bit of Boney M, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you just have to be like that, I guess. Like in Iceland, being bang there in the middle in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
And you got the radio. We don't have so much Icelandic music, really.
No.
There never was any.
It was suppressed, wasn't it, by the Danes or the Norwegians or whoever?
Yeah, bastards. But anyway.
Yes.
But we won.
Yes.
I'm still, you know, competing with the Danes. I'll get back, you know.
Yeah. There's a bit of a bad feeling still, is it, between Icelanders and Danes?
Yeah. We
Yes.
like them, you know,
Yeah.
just as much as the Irish like the English
Oh,
or
I see,
something.
right.
We're talking history.
Go along to Old Trafford and give Peter Schmeichel a bit of abuse. That'd be,
Yeah.
yeah. So there wasn't much Icelandic music, but there's a long tradition of storytelling and poetry, and that was sort of an essential thing. That was keeping the nation's traditions going.
Yeah.
Right?
Having the Danes treating us like shit for 600
Yeah.
years. Taking away, taxing us heavily.
Yeah.
And keeping us down, manipulating us.
Yeah.
And all we could do was talk.
Yeah.
And we had no musical instruments, actually.
No.
And no dancing was banned as well.
Yeah.
And no painting either.
No.
It was terrible.
And there's no trees there either. It's a bleak.
It's terrible.
Yeah. But it's all come well, at least economically, Iceland has gone from being like the poorest country in the world to one of the richest countries in the world in the last 50 years. How's that happened? How have you, is that all earnings from your royalties that have done that?
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to concentrate too much on Iceland because I've interviewed you before and I hit you with loads and loads of pointless jokes about Iceland. And I'm now trying to concentrate on your music because your career does go from strength to strength. But are you... do you almost sometimes feel you've had enough of being a big star? Do you rather just concentrate on doing the music and not... Or do you enjoy, I don't know, chat shows, making videos, big concerts?
Well, I kind of, when I was a little girl, I wanted, when I grew up, to live in a lighthouse on my own and have an organ there.
Yes.
And play tunes at midnight and stuff. And wasn't really into humans, you know?
No.
And then...
That sounds very lonely, just in a lighthouse.
Oh, very ecstatic, because me and my tunes, we have top time, you know?
Yeah.
And never a dull moment there, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Me and the ocean and that.
Yeah.
But, and then, as I grew a bit older, I started to get more curious about humans, you know?
Yeah.
And then 5 years ago, I decided, well, I have to make a real effort. And now, otherwise I'm a coward. So I moved to London.
Yes.
You know.
We've got a lot of humans here, haven't we?
Yeah.
But you've gone back to Iceland now.
Yeah, I moved back to Iceland.
You've had enough of us. You've had enough of...
No, because it's, apart from Iceland, how much I love that, I actually surprised myself by finding out that I actually probably love London equally now.
Yeah.
And some of, yeah, I've got really, really good friends here.
So is that what you miss about London, the people on the music scene and your friends? Or
I
is there
probably miss dodgy record stores in cellars with, you know, smelly ones that you spend hours in. And you always find, you always get a treat there, don't you?
Well, you might, but I've waited there a long time, got nothing at all. But you've got a record out, you've got a single out with, and your videos that go with your records are always a treat. Shall we just look at a video of your latest record, which is taken from your album? It's called Alarm Call.
Okay.
So that comes from Homogenic, your third album, I suppose it is. But are you preparing more music for later? Have you got another album in creation?
Well, I'm this man who was called Lars von Trier.
Yes.
And he asked me to if I was into being a blind, bad tap dancer.
A blind tap dancer?
And I just couldn't resist it, you know?
Yeah. Not many of those, aren't there? Fred Astaire and Ginger, the Labrador. Now, the only reason I was asking you, perhaps you were fed up with being a rock star or a big star, because it's not always plain sailing, is it, when you're as famous and as well known as you are? I think you had a particularly bad year in 1996, where you had a bit of an explosion at, well, somebody sent you a bomb through the post, and then he killed himself and filmed himself doing that. That was just a fan who was upset because you're getting married. Now, you're just describing that. It's a news story. I think, well, that's dreadful. But what is it like for that to actually happen to you?
Well, I think when you leave your country and you pack your bags and put your only child under your arm and say, yes, I'm going on a mission, you are probably not expecting an easy ride, you know.
Yeah.
But I think that all that bomb thing and stuff was in a way just the top of the iceberg for me, because it was time for me to move on and confront a new challenge. In a way.
You went off to Spain then, leaving London then for Spain, but the bomb had come from America, so that could have been sent to you in Spain as well, couldn't it? Or Iceland, come to that.
They have got very good post service there.
Yes.
Well,
this is an occasion. This is an occasion when you don't want it to be good. You want it to be returned to sender, don't you?
Oh, do you know? You can only think so much about bombs being sent to you in the post. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have to
just
put it
move
behind
on.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you had another unfortunate incident, perhaps a different sort of level of thing, when you perhaps lost your temper at Bangkok airport when there was a reporter came and stuck a microphone on you and you gave her a good seeing to. Now, I think she only said welcome to Bangkok, which can be annoying if you thought you'd flown to Barcelona. But was that, were you cross with the intrusion, or because you just had a bad flight, as Mr. Bean on the movie again?
Yeah. No, it actually was because she was trying to interview my son.
Yeah.
Live on TV, I think, because and she pushed him just a little bit too far, you know.
Yeah.
And was confronting.
She pushed you a bit too far, is it?
It's funny because people can only be they can be quite nasty to you sometimes, right? And you just deal with it and you put love cloths on it, be all diplomatic.
Yeah.
But they do something to your kids.
And he was what, 10 or so at the time?
He was 9.
9, yeah.
You just lose it.
Yeah.
She was asking him quite confrontational questions, so it wasn't hard, to be a son of a famous, and all these kind of questions, and being quite,
Intrusive and pushy.
But I don't lose my temper that often.
Don't
I worked
you?
out that it's once every 7 years,
Right. Hang on. So that was in 1996, so...
Don't be around me the 2003.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
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 So, but it all got smoothed over and there was no charges or a further argument.
No, we apologized for each other, to each other, yeah.
Yes. All right, well, it's been fascinating asking you questions, Björk, but I'm sure there'll be even better questions from members of the audience. Anybody got a question or two? Right at the back was the first hand up.
Hi. When you were younger, did you see yourself where you are today?
No, not at all. I was in school the shy eccentric in the back into insect collections. And
You were brought up in sort of a commune of people. It was your mother and your father, your stepfather, other people, and sort of groups them. So I always sort of imagined you possibly as, an absolutely fabulous, the sensible child of Jennifer Saunders. Were you ever that sort of approach, very serious-minded?
I guess sort of a sensible child with my mouth shut, I guess, compared to the girl in the shows, Right. I was kind of more just walked away to the ocean and sang. I know it sounds pathetic, but I was... That's my way out.
I hope that answered your question. So any more from around here? Oh, yes, there's a girl with a sort of stripy jumper at the back there.
So who are your musical influences? Because your music is actually quite alternative.
Well, because there wasn't so much music around Iceland, I guess I'm more influenced by my friends and bad jokes and
Oh, right, you come to the right
the
place
weather,
here then.
yeah.
Well, you had lots of influence. You had music played on the